Hey guys, what's up? Hope everything is good and welcome to my first game on ESEA. If you're not too sure about ESEA, what it is a website where you join, pay a subscription fee, and that gives you access to a pug system where you can play gathers with your friends. You have your own ranking inside ESEA. It gives you things like stats such as kill, death ratio, RWS, which I'll talk about in a bit, and other stats like that. And it's just basically a cool way to play on 128 tick servers with your friends in a matchmaking environment with anti-cheat. So of course, because on this channel my main series is my Road to Global Elite, learning CSGO as a CS veteran series, I have to play that on matchmaking as a solo queue, which means I can't play with my friends. And recently, one of my good friends called Sul, who was in this game, has just recently started playing CSGO. I used to play 1.6 with him for quite a few years, back towards the end of 2000, so about 2007 to 2010. So it's great that he has now started playing CSGO, and he has some really good aim, which you'll see throughout these videos. And this series will be alongside my learning CSGO as a CS veteran series. It's not going to take over or anything like that. It's just a way that I can show you of myself playing with some friends.
Did I said you suck in Counter-Strike?
So unfortunately, even though we are paying ESEA, which is a paid subscription service, you cannot guarantee that you're going to escape all the idiots. So in this game, I was playing with Sul, who was my friend. There was one other person who we were matched with, who is from the UK, and he was a very nice guy. But we also got matched with two very toxic people, who I believe were from Germany. Basically, from the start, they were very toxic. They just tried to troll us and call us all shit and things like that, which, you know, you expect it in matchmaking. In ESEA, it's a bit annoying. So you might hear them pipe up a few times in this video, so apologies for that, but you just ignore them and get on with it. So one of the best things about playing in a more structured environment is that you can rely on your teammates a lot more. So in this situation, I said I'm watching A ramp and I knew I'd be covered from people rushing mid. Luckily, they actually all rushed me at A ramp and I managed to get a nice 4-man there. The last guy who I killed in a second was actually AFK, so that gives me a nice 5-man. So on ESEA, let me just explain, you have obviously your normal kill to death ratio, and you also have something called RWS, which stands for round win share. So I'm going to try and explain this as best as I can. I'm not 100% sure on it, so if I do get something wrong, let me know in the comments. But basically, for each round, there's 100 RWS points up for grabs, so that's 100 RWS. If you do 100 damage to an enemy and you kill them, that means you'll get 20 RWS. So that's 1/5 of the total amount you can win. So for one kill, you will get 20. If your teammate then got a 4-man, he will get the remaining 80. If something happens like the bomb is planted and you defuse the bomb, you get 30 RWS for defusing the bomb, and the remaining 70 is distributed between your teammates or whoever got the kills. Hopefully that makes sense. I will put a link in the description, just linking you to the about page for RWS so you can learn a bit more. But a lot of people go off RWS to see how well they have done in the pug, and people who are playing ESEA basically look at RWS to see who's a good player and who's not. And doing a bit of research, if you're a good player, you should be on about 10 RWS, and pro players generally get between 15 and 20 RWS. Something along those lines, but obviously it's not the most accurate. For example, I play a second game, which I'll probably play in a video a bit later on this week, and one of my enemies got about 35 kills, but because he lost, his team actually lost, I think it was 16-9, he only got RWS for the rounds that his team won. So he only got an RWS about 10, and that's with 35 kills. So it's not always the greatest way to look at who did the most in each round, but it does give you a good indication of who contributed towards winning the round. So while I've been talking about ESEA, you can see I've had some clips on which are just showing a pug that we played on ESEA. We're currently 7-0 up, or about to be 7-0 up in a second. What I would recommend is, if you are bored of matchmaking or you want something else to play other than matchmaking, I'd definitely sign up for either Face It, which is free and is similar to ESEA, or ESEA itself. It's a great way to just basically play on 128 tick in a bit more of a competitive environment and just have really good games. Some games can be a bit weird. For example, there could be a bit of a skill discrepancy, or you might play with someone who's a bit of a idiot, but I'd say you're less likely to run into that problem on ESEA than you are in matchmaking.
Flash you in short, Rob.
So honestly, it feels really good to play ESEA after playing solo queue matchmaking for so long. Back when I played 1.6, I never really seemed to even mix very much. I just used to play with my team over and over again. We used to play every single night from like 5 or 6 in the afternoon until like 1 in the morning. It's not something that I can do in my life at the moment because I work full time. So it's really good to just be able to get on ESEA with some friends and actually play in a more competitive environment, have talks and know exactly where the enemies are, and be able to rely on your teammates, because solo queue matchmaking can be a bit draining at times. One thing I always find in matchmaking as well is because I'm playing with complete randoms, it's a solo queue, I'm always aware of people being able to push behind me or people dying and not calling things. So it's really good in ESEA to know that if someone on your team dies, the chances are they're probably going to call it and let you know exactly where they are, and you can relax and just worry about your own game. You can probably see from a lot of the clips that what my role was really in this game was just to entry frag, so I was just pushing a lot of places like A ramp very fast and just trying to get the entry frag before my teammates came in, which was working out really well. I actually had a really high RWS at this point. My RWS right now was actually 35. It does go down a little bit because keeping an RWS as high as that is a bit hard to maintain for a full game, but I was having a really good game so far, getting a lot of entry frags, and we were just dominating the enemy team at this stage. So after winning the first half 12-3, you can see the CT pistol around here where I don't fare so well. I get a bit cocky and peek out with my full body, and I don't get a headshot within the first 4 bullets, which means you're pretty much going to die. Still does pick off the guy hit a few times, and the pistol round goes on from here.
One balcony, one side. Deploying flashbang. On steps.
He's blind.
Spot last. That's triple box.
So you can see he played that round very, very well. He got a 4-man and a 1v3 in the end. He just really worked the terrorists, knew exactly what they were thinking, and managed to get the headshots before they killed him, which, let's face it, in Counter-Strike is the main thing. So moving on now to the first gun round, I am playing A with Sul and one other person. My main duty here is to watch A ramp and Palace if my teammate gets picked. They do flash over A and start coming A bit slowly here, so we are anti-flashing them, slowing them down. My teammate gets killed on mid. I know that no one's coming Palace because my teammate's got it, at least for the moment, so all I'm doing is trying to make sure they can't get out of this smoke and kill my teammates in the side or in the back. So in the end here, I do see one on the corner of my screen in Palace, so I'm just waiting for him to peek. Eventually he does peek and I get the kill on him with a quick headshot. Follow that up with a second kill from a guy who just came from ramp. That means there's only one terrorist left and it's a 4v1 situation, and my teammate spots him in the connector.
Deploying flashbang.
On the left side, left. Good job. Why is he bought up?
So the enemies have pulled back a few rounds and it is now 16-8 in our favour, and we have done a bit of a force buy this round, and because I had quite a lot of money I decided to buy a Mag 7. I think the Mag 7 is an awesome gun in this game. If you just play close with it, you can do some real damage if your aim is decent, and you also get a really good kill reward. I mean, $900 for a weapon where you can do so much damage with it if you're in a close range situation is just insane. It's a really high incentive to use such a good gun, so usually if I am on about 5k but my rest of my team is low and we do a force buy, I quite often, if my position calls for it, buy a Mag 7 and just play close range. So after following up the Mag 7 kill with that AK kill, I do get picked off by the one remaining terrorist. So it's now a 2v1 situation for my teammates. They do play it well, they're obviously in decent positions, everywhere's covered. So what Stull does here is just plays pretty defensively. He knows exactly where the terrorist is and just waits to get his kill. So that is the end of my first game on ESEA. I'll put the stats on the screen now and you can see that we won 16-8. I had a kill count of 29 and my RWS were 21.78. I don't actually know 100% what makes up a good RWS on ESEA, so if you do know that, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you have liked this video and you want to see more ESEA games, please let me know. It won't affect me making other games or other videos like the Road to Global Elite series. I'll still be able to make them just as much as I can do normally, so please give me some feedback guys, and thanks a lot for watching.